Hi, good morning, everyone. And before I start with our thing, the content that I'm going to talk about, I must thank the Retailers Associations of India to be able to organize such a fantastic conference because it's the most fragmented space in our country, at least. And getting everyone under one roof, it's an amazing thing to do. So congratulations to Mr. Kurian, Mr. Rajkupalan, Hitesh, and everyone to be able to organize such a wonderful conference. Uh, Before I come to my presentation, I'll just give you a brief context about what this whole thing is about, right? Uh, the enabling the next generation retail with technology. I'll take a step back and why this, right? I was with Flipkart around 2014, 15, 16, 17, launching series of verticals and businesses, right? And we have this big billion days, and then Amazon follows, and you have this a lot of monthly, quarterly affairs happening. Uh, it was not just about this 2014-15 was not just a phase where the two large e-commerce players were taking shape. They were in fact reshaping the way consumers shop in India, right? We started seeing the change in whole consumer behavior in shopping. We started seeing the change in retail ecosystem. And we saw that there is hardly any level playing field left for players who are fragmented, small, have been around for decades, right? With that core agenda of being able to give something, do something for that space and bring them on the same pedestal as large players, as large emerging players like Amazon and Flipkart, how can we bring each of these individual stores on the same platform? Two of us left Flipkart and decided to start this company called Arzooo. This is how the retail has evolved. Very cliche stuff. We are all familiar with this. So I'll quickly come to the next slide. Right? I'm going into a real world scenario right now because most of the retail that at least we are talking here is largely focused on very organized retail, right? What I'm going to talk about is going to be very focused around the true Indian retail, which is 85% of the retail in India, right? This is how, and there the real world scenario that I'm taking is a consumer electronic space, and this mirrors most of the retail verticals. You have online taking about 15% of the market share, chain retailers with about 20%, and you have about 65% of the market, consumer durables, consumer electronics with these guys, right? They are in terms of the number of stores, the network, the presence, and the customer acquisition. They have the largest base. But then comes selection piece, right? It was all fine till the time these were just the player, which is small, single, standalone stores around. They were able to offer consumers whatever they had, and consumers were shopping whatever was available physically in these stores. Then comes what is called a so-called modern trade. I don't know why it is called modern trade. Maybe just because of the size of the shop is larger, it's called modern. I have not been able to connect with that, but yeah, at least I use the term chain retail. So they are able to offer their consumer about 70% of the entire selection universe in that segment. And then comes the another gorilla, and they are able to offer in one destination about 90% of the entire selection universe. You don't have to go anywhere. Everything is available there, right? So, and you see the level playing changing here. You see there is a lack of democratization in this space starts to happen here. And then comes the another blow. The margin inflow that comes to small fragmented retail stores is another thing that's kind of second blow to them, which is you are at least 10 to 12% lower in terms of what you are able to command. Hence, the pricing competitiveness to your customer, you are always left out in that competition. So you are able to offer the lowest available selection in the market. You have very few products to offer to your customer. And then you lack that competitiveness in the pricing. And this is where we essentially wanted to solve these two core problems of every small standalone stores. Right? But then it's not easy, right? It's taking a technology platform into small offline stores run by the owners themselves, the families who have been masters of their game for decades. It's been quite a journey for us. As I just spoke about, we are on this mission to democratize, where if you go back to my second slide, regardless to what size of the store you operate, regardless to what scale that you have, you should be able to offer the same kind of product range, same kind of pricing proposition to your customers as Amazon. And in that direction, these are the things that we have been solving for, that if you go to a store which is powered by Arzooo, you have at least 10 times larger product range available to in these stores, and they are able to offer a bigger product range to their customers. Best pricing, because we are consolidating, aggregating demands. We work with about 35,000 stores now across the country. We are able to offer them much better margin, and hence they are able to offer much better pricing, and they are able to compete with likes of Amazons and Flipkarts. And we have integrated a fintech solution that digitizes the whole credit lending, right? Credit is very integral to retail. It's been there for a while. But what we have done is we have made this extremely low cost and hassle-free. It's completely digital flow for a retailer. All he has to do is buy the product, sell it, and then pay later, right? So which means you run your business even if you have a working capital crunch. And we have built an Arzooo Express service delivery through which we are able to deliver product across the country, across these 35,000 retail stores. And you sell, you capture your demand through the digital inventory available, you close your sale transaction in store, and we will deliver you the product. So these are the things that we have done in our last 3 years journey. Just to give you an idea of the scale, we are working with about 35,000 stores where we have solved for the first couple of things that we wanted to solve for, which is enabling them with large product range, offering them a better pricing so that they are able to offer better prices to their customers, right? But then the things that, so that's solved for the supply chain, sourcing, pricing, competitiveness for them. But what next? They are still dependent on the lifeline, which is physical walk-in in a store. And that's what puts them on a massive disadvantage in today's world. And again, there is lack of democracy in retail, because all you have to do is open the shutter in the morning, sit and wait for someone to walk into the store. So the next thing that we are doing is we are looking to solve for the better conversion, and also how can you drive more walking into the store. So if you look at a typical customer journey in a retail store, the three larger milestones are: you do your product discovery, you consider your product, you decide, you buy, checkout. And what's happening here, right? Today, most of the product discovery that happens, all of us do that, all of you do your shoppings, you do your first level of discovery about the product online. Right? You do it on Google, you may do it on Amazon and elsewhere. Now, these stores are not in picture there, right? They are not even participating in that discovery process of the product. The decision making, because there are enough FAQs available, enough review mechanism available online, so most of your buying decisions you are able to take online, right? And that's where consumer behavior is changing in at least tier 1s and metro cities. And if you look at the last stage in that funnel, today the online retail again has had this advantage of building solution that can aid your conversion, right? There is a buy now, pay later solution. There are cashback offers on most of the credit cards that you may have. There are debit card AMI solutions. And these stores are not on par when it comes to this, right? Bottom of the funnel. So, and that's another disadvantage. So, to enable next generation retail, to create a democratization in this space, it's very important that all these three steps in consumer buying journey are solved for in store, right? The technology in store can't be just about POS. It needs to be much more than that to bring them on par with e-commerce giants. And we are doing our bit in that direction. So what we are coming up next with is, besides after solving for the supply, sourcing, pricing in store, now we are powering these stores with products that will take care of a lot of these issues and bring them on the pedestal that other players are, right? So there is a complete transformation is happening in store, where the limitation of a physical store, which is of how much physical stock and displays that you have, is just eliminated here. So you have a DIY journey for the customer with endless aisle of the product. You are able to offer your customers as much or more product selection than a Flipkart and Amazon, right? And that's the solution that we are coming up with. All-in-one payments. Since we are in high involvement buying categories, the payment transactions in a furniture store, in electronic stores, are typical high value, right? And about 40-45% of the customers in tier 1 cities are going for or looking for some sort of EMI solutions which goes beyond credit card EMIs. So there are fragmented solutions available in large format stores, and they're all fragmented by credit card EMIs or a Bajaj Finance sort of EMI solution, or maybe a debit card sort of solutions. We are bringing all of this in one, and we are also bringing in partnership with a lot of banks the same sort of cashbacks offers that you get on your different cards that you get online, you will be able to get in your neighborhood store, right? So all these stores are going to be as equipped with these payment solutions as their online platforms. And the third thing that we are building is a digital channel for these stores. We are bringing every store that we work with, and will soon go horizontal beyond consumer electronics. Every store that we're working with, we are giving them a digital presence with a platform that will be able to attract customers for them. And not just that, to address the dependency on the footfall, now we are giving a reach out mechanism where they can create their own marketing campaign for their stores, and they can reach out to entire customer base in their catchment, right? So these three products that we are coming up with will aid democratization of retail that we are committed to bring.